That looks bomb.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Usually, I'm not nervous.
I feel it, brother.
I'm never the nervous guy involved.
Hey, we're both
in this.
a little nervous, bro. It's all good.
Why are you nervous though?
It's just having a conversation in front of the camera, because like, what if your brain like don't like fully get the word out the way you want to, and then it's like you just look stupid. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why.
You just face out. You're just like.
Yeah, exactly.
No, for me it's because it's crazy for me because I look back at how all this transpired, like where it all began.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the homie Josh at work.
Yeah.
That's where it started. I literally told him, I was like, dude, I'm a big ass fan of this guy. I love his music, and that was when I barely found out that you worked there at the time.
I remember he was telling me too. He's like, you know Jason? I was like, yeah. He's like, you should talk to him. I was like okay. He's like, say what's up to him. I was like, okay. He's like, he likes your music. I was like, okay. He's nervous. I was like, okay. And so that's when.
Why you gotta be so bold about it too? Just.
But that's where I was like, okay. You know, he seemed chill, and then just started saying what's up, and then started talking. I was like, dude, it's pretty chill, you know. But yeah, it was funny because he just told me like all quiet. He pulled me to the side. He was like, yeah, you should go talk to him. He's a fan of your music. I was like, okay.
He's the last person I need to tell someone to hook me with as a homie. Like, bro, that is not how you do it.
Yeah, he's
like,
out there.
It's like, hey, man.
He's like, I don't know if you know, bro, but he's funny though.
That was not what I was trying to get at, man.
That dude is always. Hey, if you're watching, you kind of be slacking at work, bro. He's always slacking.
Dude, I rarely see him now.
Yeah, I don't know. He bounces everywhere. I told him, dude. I was like, bro, do you even work? He's like, I look like I work, huh? I was like, no, you don't. But yeah.
I always see him going out to like baseball games and shit, and I'm like, he's living. As long as he's living, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But
he's a fan of the Mariners. He told me, he's like, you should come out. He's like, I always go buy tickets. They're cheap.
Dude, yeah. I've been noticing the tickets are really cheap, and then I'm only gonna go to one sports event this year, and that was to Seattle, the Seahawks.
My mom loves Seahawks. Yeah, I don't watch no sports.
Really?
I'll be wearing baseball jerseys, and then Josh is like, did you watch the game? No, I don't watch sports. I watch UFC. That's about it, but not really a sports guy.
Did you ever play sports, or
never even tried it? Football, grid kids. Shout out Marjan. In I don't know what grade that was. This was a while ago, but I played grid kids for like a year, and I hated it. And there was this one point where we were running. It was hot. I was tired. And I started crying. I was just crying, bro. I just sat there, and then they're like, you good? I'm like, yeah. My bad.
No, you're good.
And they call me Water Boy because, you want some water? I'm going to call you Water Boy. So I was like, all right, I'm done with sports. And I played basketball for like a year, and that was it.
So that's when you realized that shit just wasn't for you?
No, my brother's a basketball player.
That type of energy just ain't it. It's understandable. I mean, I'm not one to say because I've done sports all my life. So.
Oh really?
Like I was forced into it. That's kind of how my dad put us on. Was like he wanted us to build mental toughness and all that stuff, physical toughness, especially since like I was bullied as a young kid, and so he was like, last thing I'm gonna have for my son is getting his ass beat at school. So he said,
it's definitely good for mental toughness because if I didn't do that, I honestly don't think I'd be where I'm at exactly because. It builds character, and having those people like kind of encourage you. It's like it's uncomfortable, but sometimes being uncomfortable is good, though.
Right.
It helps you grow.
You can't. Well, what's that phrase? You can't be successful when you're just comfortable.
Yeah.
Can't stay complacent, really.
But yeah, not a fan of sports.
Welcome back to the Broken Vinyl podcast, guys. We got caught up in a little bit of the conversation.
Yeah,
I never announced I called this out in the last episode. I was like, I never announced my name. I wonder if people actually know who I am, or do they just go like J to Z, J to Z?
I was gonna say, so you prefer J to Z or Jason?
I prefer Jason.
Okay.
Like J to Z, I'm still kind of trying to get accustomed to it. Like I rarely hear anyone call me that just because I'm close with everyone around me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, call me Jason.
Yep.
Like I don't know if you prefer Wise. I've always called you Wise.
Either or, it don't
like,
matter.
That shit
People
works.
call me Josiah, they call me Saya, Wheezy, Wise. I'm just used to everything.
Okay.
So whatever you prefer, it don't matter.
Yeah, we are here with a very special guest today.
Thank you.
Wise, of course, and like I told you earlier, I was really excited to get you on.
Yeah, man.
We've been talking about this for months now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So-
been a little while. I know I kind of slacked at some points, but
Oh no, you're
we're here
good.
now,
Like
though, bro.
life kind of had its way with us for a while, and I'd say we made it through some hard shit lately.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of going through some shit, but
yeah, I feel it.
how are you doing though?
I've been doing good. I had the whole tumor situation, which was, it was a little scary,
Right.
but they said it was non-cancerous, so that's good. It was kind of a trip because it's like, yeah, you have a tumor in your leg, and I'm like, a tumor? Like what the heck? In my head, I'm like, I'm about to die. Like, it's cancer. Da, da, da. You know how you get in those thoughts.
Right.
And then I kind of had this feeling. I don't know if you saw the video I posted, but I had the feeling for like the Holy Spirit speaking, just like, you don't have to worry about it. And so I just held on to that. And then as time went on, I went to the doctors, and they were just like, yeah, just letting you know that your scar healed and everything's good. You're walking fine. Oh, by the way, it was non-cancerous. And so I was like, thank you, Lord, because
That's
my
amazing,
mom has
dude.
had cancer, my grandpa's had cancer, so
Oh,
that
okay.
thought was kind of always on the back of my mind.
Right.
But yeah, but I've been good though. I just been trying to be consistent and, doing music and videos and stuff like that.
I don't know if it was just me that noticed this, because I kind of, me being kind of a little detective on everything, but I noticed them like once you kind of started recovering from that tumor, it felt like you were really starting to get in your bag on music.
Yeah.
Like you really started focusing on it. So in a way, did that experience kind of make you realize kind of some things about life, like kind of taking life for granted a little bit, Not saying you have, but like,
Yeah.
did you ever get those thoughts and get it to push you towards getting back into music even more?
Yeah, even though it was like non-cancerous and it wasn't anything major, going through that process and having those thoughts and fears, I'm not saying it's always good to fear like that, but sometimes when you go through stuff like that, it kind of shifts your perspective,
Right.
And so I was thinking, like, man, like I'm always tired. That was another thing too. And like I was saying, I still deal with that here and there, but not as bad. But basically going through that, it just helped me depend on God. Like no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm facing, if things don't line up the way I want, or if I'm struggling with certain things, or things just don't happen the way I want, I just trust Him and I keep pushing through. I'm not saying I'm going to be like perfect and be like, oh, like life is good. Like I'm going through this, but it's all good. We have feelings and emotions.
Exactly.
But
You
it
can't
definitely-
just hide it, yeah.
And that's the thing I don't like, is like some people will try and act like, oh, it's all good, I'm good. It's like, I get that you want to encourage people, nothing's wrong with that.
Right.
But you got to have that realness and rawness with it to correlate and relate to people.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad I went through that, because it just helped me just trust Him more with things that are out of my control, So, but yeah.
I appreciate you opening up about that.
Yeah.
Been on a roller coaster, man.
I feel it.
Well, to open up a bit, a couple weeks ago, I lost my grandma due to this long battle she had with cancer. And if we're
Dang.
being honest,
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
it's all good, thank you. We all say she didn't lose, because she beat this cancer time after time again. And this time it was just like her age is there. She's at that point now where it's just like time has come.
Yeah.
And we were, for like 2 years now, we were preparing for this moment. And the crazy part about it is, they were telling me it was like every doctor's appointment, they would give her a deadline, and she would beat that deadline almost every time.
That's good though.
It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And for a while we were like not really worried. We thought she beat it, and eventually it just finally ended up going the way it did. And so it was hard for me to process, because I've never really been the best at handling death or anything like that. Like I haven't had. I'm grateful to say I haven't had much death in my family, or witnessed much of it. And anyone that was like very close to me, I was too young to understand it. Like for example, I have this tattoo of my sister's initials, Ava and Olivia.
Oh, nice.
They
I like the
passed
little
away.
halo.
Yeah, they passed away at birth, and so I was too young to truly understand that. And when I grew up, I kind of had this real emotional roller coaster about the whole idea. Every time it was their birthdays, I wouldn't know how to feel about it. Sometimes I would forget about their birthdays, and I would feel like a shithead of a brother, just shit like
I feel that.
And so with this one, I feel like I truly learned how to really process this stuff and truly be grateful for that moment. Because I didn't even, like, it was hard for me to say goodbye to her, especially like the last image I have of her.
Yeah.
And so I just remember being at the funeral and putting the rose on the casket and finally saying like thank you for
goodbye,
everything, you know.
Yeah.
And then I just balled in my mom's arms, you know. So then after that, it became one of like the best days I've had in a while, because the family was together. We were all at my grandma's house eating good food, talking, catching up. I even opened up a bit and like started just making jokes, cracking jokes, making fun of my dad and his tramp stamp tattoo, like stuff like that. It was,
I gotta know, what is the tattoo?
I'm glad you asked.
I don't know if I'm glad though.
My dad doesn't watch these videos, so but if he does, I apologize in advance, and I love you very much. I'm saying this story because I love you. He has a tramp stamp tattoo right here of his last name, Nelson, in bold.
That's not that bad.
In bold, but
at least it's not like a girl's name, or
yeah. See, it's not a bad thing,
or
but
like
because of the idea of it being a tramp stamp is so funny to all of us. I can't remember who brought it up, but everyone just started making fun of him.
I'm sure he's a good guy though.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
We all make some decisions that are a little questionable, you know.
Exactly. And so I made a bunch of jokes on him to the point where he kind of got upset at me, and he wanted to come at me, and he goes,
"Oh man."
Yeah, he got petty. So he goes, "Oh, he's a fucking comedian." Once he gets out of his room.
That's good though.
Yeah, but I came back at him, so it's all good. It's all good. And then this ties into this tattoo that I wanted to tell you about, the N, which my grandma's name was Nancy. And so I don't know who brought it up, but my 8-year-old cousin got a tattoo kit, an actual tattoo kit.
Your 8-year-old cousin?
Yes.
How? Why?
I don't know.
I mean, I can understand maybe like 15, 16, 17, like 8 years old. I'm like,
right.
Can you even draw?
But
you know,
this kid really like. He's very artistic. He's very creative. He looks up to me pretty heavily. So I think that's where that kind of transpired from. Because he even has his own little mini studio because of me.
That's pretty sick.
And one of the cutest things about him is his name's Trey. I remember this one time I got an email saying someone subscribed to me, because sometimes you get those.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, the name, and it said From T to C, Trey Cienfuegos, and I was like, oh, this kid.
Is that like a reference to your
my
J to
name,
Z?
J to Z? I was like, wow, like this kid
That's pretty cool,
looks up to me in a whole different way than I expected it to. And so that led into apparently getting a tattoo kit, which I don't have. But someone got a tattoo from him. Then one by one, people started noticing, and then others started getting tattoos. And it was of the same things. It would be of an N somewhere on their body. And I guess he really wanted to give me a tattoo, and so I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
That's pretty crazy. I've never heard anything like that.
Right?
That's pretty awesome.
And I posted it. I posted a picture of my family members that that got a tattoo done by him. I'll put the picture up on the video so that way you guys don't feel left out. But it's right here.
Oh wow! And
everybody got
saying
N's.
The 8-year-old did that, right?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. My
family would never let one of my brothers do that. That's pretty cool though. That's cool support though. I love that.
Right. So yeah, throughout a hard time, it came out to having a great moment with the family. So
that's good.
So like you said, with dealing with hardships with you and your tumor, like it kind of put perspective on things, and you had something good come out of it. So I guess for me, something great really came out of it for me as well.
Yeah, I can relate too with when you're saying your grandma and they're saying, oh, she's probably going to live until this day. Same thing with my grandma. She didn't pass away from cancer. It was heart issues. But every time she went to the hospital, she's probably not going to make it by this day or past this day.
Right.
But every time she kept getting out and coming back healthy. And then they had to get a pacemaker for her. And then at some point she eventually did pass away. Yeah. But I can relate to that because after she passed away too, same thing with both of my grandpas, it kind of brought the family together. Right. And so it's like we're talking, we're meeting up and we're bonding, and it just makes us stronger. There's like a saying that says you can't make diamonds unless you apply pressure, you know. And I know somebody's probably heard that watching this, but it's true though. It's
true.
like sometimes you got to go through the hard stuff and really get down in the dirt to really appreciate things and the moments that you have with the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Good things come from hard times.
Yeah.
I've learned that a lot too, especially.
I always got to learn the hard way, bro.
Dude,
I shouldn't have to, but I tend to.
I feel the same way, dude. I'm like, I hate that sometimes. I get so hard-headed because like I'm pretty confident in myself to say that like I'm pretty wise for my age. I like to say like I've been there for a lot of people, giving advice, say like help people throughout their lives and everything in my age group, and I've always been looked to as that guy for help and support. And sometimes I let that get ahead of me, and I got to realize I'm still just as young as they are. I'm still around that age where I fuck up. I make mistakes. You know, and I'm not as impenetrable as the next guy. Yeah,
I agree, because no disrespect to like the people our age, right? But there are a lot of people that are like, I'm not saying I'm better or like any greater, anything like that, but it's like at the same time it's like what are you doing? What are you thinking? You know, because there's some people that just like, you know, some people bloom later, I guess you can put it that way, but but then when I met you, I noticed you kind of had your head on straight too, and so it's like when I run into people like that, I appreciate it. And it's like, not that I discredit anybody else, but at the same time it's like it's cool to see people that have open perspectives and really think about their future and stuff, because some people are just like, oh, I'm gonna work here, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Like there's no thought put into it. Right. And it's like, you can do that, but you should really have some stuff situated, you know.
I appreciate you saying that too.
But yeah,
because I know this is the same thing about you. It's just, especially because obviously my first impression of you was from your music, and I think it was Mondo that put me on your shit. Obviously, because you guys have a couple of songs featured together as well. I was just like, who is this guy? Like you have a unique sound about you. I've told you before. You have a really unique sound about yourself that really blends in well. And to sponsor his new, he has three new singles out that just came out. When did they come out? Sunday.
It was Sunday. Yep.
Okay, and then this video is coming out this week, so.
Oh, nice.
Please listen to him.
Called Under the Surface, but if you type in Wise on Apple or Spotify, I should be at least top 3, and then it'll be a black and white picture of me with glasses. So appreciate the support. Love you guys.
They do not disappoint. None of his songs have disappointed so far, and that's not just saying that because he's right in front of me, and he's taller than me and probably stronger than me.
I don't know.
I'm being real with you. This guy's cool, and his music is just as cool. I swear.
I appreciate that, bro.
I gotta say, I got some JID vibes from your schemes and your even just all 3 of those songs in general. I heard a lot of JID type schemes, even with what you were doing with your voice. I was like, I didn't hear him like this before.
Yeah, I got a lot of. So I always tell people when they make music, I don't know if I told you this, but I was like, when you make music, you have different voices that you probably don't know you have yet.
Right.
So you could like talk like this super low. Then you go, you know, there's different things. If you play with it, it'll sound stupid in the beginning, but then you'll find something and be like, this is he. And so you just mess with it, and then you kind of find sounds that fit you, you know? And so, yeah, JID, I would say I used to listen to him. He was definitely an inspiration. I always listened to his stuff back in high school. Him, J. Cole, Bryson Tiller, Kendrick, who else? Brent Faiyaz. There's some other name. Trippie Redd, XXXTentacion. So what I do is I don't try and mimic them, but things that I hear myself in those other artists, I'm like, yo, I kind of have those same ideas in my brain.
Right.
And it kind of helps me focus and realize I have that sound, and so I'll bring it to the table.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And how long have you been doing music for now?
Ooh, hold on. Let me see. So I started making beats. Do you know the game Little Big Planet by any chance?
Yes, I do.
You can make beats on that game.
Yeah.
And I started making them. I was on PlayStation 3. I was chilling in my living room, and I'm making this whole beat. And my dad walks by, and he's listening to it. And he kind of catches his ear. And he's like, did you make that? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm going to get you a beat pad. because he DJs.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got me a beat pad, and this was when I was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started messing with music, FL Studio, and then that's when I ran into Carlos, and he was kind of on the same thing, and just having him with me, it kind of just made me encouraged to go more into that, you know? But total years since I was 11, I'm 23. Dude, I suck at math. You might get this better than me.
Don't worry, I'm horrible at
Terrible at
math.
math. Hold on. This is embarrassing. Hold up real quick. 11.
Around 10 years.
13. 12 years, I think. I'm not even going to try and do the math. I'm pretty sure that's right, though.
Don't worry. Math
gotta
was
use
my
my
worst
fingers.
subject as well. Math was my worst subject.
Yeah, I hated math.
It
But
was make or break for me for graduating when it came to math.
yeah, math was
from what I remember.
I barely passed.
And then
I barely passed.
shout out COVID, saving my life.
If it wasn't for that, you're like, I don't know where I'd be, bro.
No, because I was a 2020. I graduated in 2020, so when the pandemic had hit.
So it had its pluses, though, I guess. Then.
And that was the only plus out of it. Shit, I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't fail your classes. You could only
Oh,
raise
you
your
couldn't?
grade up if you did the
Jeez.
homework. If you didn't do it, they couldn't drop it for some reason.
So you guys, ooh. So did you guys have a graduation ceremony then too?
More
Or
like a
was-
drive-by.
That's so sad.
It was very
sorry.
sad.
Because it's an
Yeah.
experience, you know. It's pretty cool because you're like with your homies. It's like we did it, you know?
Right.
Like we did it. Like
We couldn't even do
done
that.
with high school, and then right after that, I want to go back to high school. I don't want to deal with all
Right,
these responsibilities, you know.
We
But
couldn't even do that. Like
That's
they had
crazy.
the stage set out and everything in front of the high school, and all of us were in the parking lot in our own cars.
Mm.
And so what they did was they would line us up, and basically, if you came in early enough to be in the front row, you're not going to see anyone else
Jeez.
drive by and get their certificate. You got to go watch the live stream.
Wait, are you saying you literally had to drive by, grab the paper?
They would drive you by, or they would have you drive by onto the next to the stage. You would get out, get up on the stage, shake
Oh my
hands, grab your
goodness.
certificate. Your car will meet you at the other end of the ramp, and then you have to drive out of the driveway.
That's not cool. That's
Yeah.
that's ridiculous to me. I ain't gonna get into that, but
It was crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was how that went for me.
So did you go to Davis? You went to Davis, right? I-
Toppenish.
Toppenish, that's right. I asked you that. Okay. So how was that? Was that, because I know you, I'm not trying to bring this up, but I'm just curious because I'd never seen bullying in my entire school life.
Okay.
And so it's like, was that in like a high school thing or was it like a...
It was only really elementary, to be
Okay.
honest, and it all switched up the moment I got into wrestling because
They didn't want to mess with you then. Huh?
I've wrestled for 12 years, man.
Yeah.
I started in Zilla kindergarten through 6th grade, and I had already been wrestling, and I even did MMA for like, I can't remember how many years. Dude,
Me too.
I did a
Not
lot of-
years. It
a
was
lot of
probably like
shit.
a few months, and then boxing was a year. But that's
yeah,
cool
I
though.
mixed it in boxing and
There you go.
MMA and all that, but wrestling really stuck with us, and it's for my family. It's been in our blood for generations, bro.
There you
for
go.
like just traveling, passing on, and a lot of my cousins are very successful in wrestling right now. Like almost everyone's a state champion except me. So
Oh dang.
it's crazy.
That's
crazy.
pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to? I know you probably don't want to do that like full time, but do you want to pursue that in the way of like going out and actually doing matches still, or
No,
is it just like learning it here and there? And
because the thing with wrestling is throughout the 12 years of doing it, a lot of trauma came out of it to where it was like it was really between me and my dad because I have nothing against my dad. I love my dad to death. It's just he struggled with putting the certain blend between being a father and being a coach, and it really just didn't blend well at
Yeah.
all. And I guess that's where a lot of turmoil really started for us because we just couldn't get along anymore.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't hear the end of it if I fucked up. I wouldn't hear the end of it even when we got home. Nothing.
Yeah.
The switch didn't turn off.
Can't escape your dad. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's-
He
yeah.
would make us watch our matches. Me and my sister. He would make us watch our matches with him when we get home to see like where we fucked up, and he would like pause it and he would be like, "Right here, you're supposed to do this instead of this," and all that.
So
all that stuff.
he's into it.
I literally was trying to quit junior and senior year, but luckily senior year things kind of got situated to where I was like, okay guys, here's the gist. I'm gonna do wrestling, but I'm not doing it for you guys no more.
Yeah.
This whole time I did it just to please you guys. This time I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
And so I decided this is gonna be great. And so when I decided to do it for myself, that whole year became a movie for me, honestly. Like, I had the best year of my life. I made it to state. I didn't place, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
There you go. Yeah, so, see, it's like when you start doing it for other people, you lose a lot. You lose the drive to do it, and then you start getting people's opinions in your head, and it's like, that's the same thing with music for me. It's like, there was a point where I just kind of focused on what they wanted to hear.
Right.
And I noticed I was getting stuck more. I couldn't write. I didn't know how to approach the music because I was so internally conflicted with what I wanted to do.
Right.
And when I wanted to do what I wanted to do, I was scared of what they would think. And so there'd be that wall there. And so I think it's cool that you made the decision to just be like, you know what? I'm going to do it the way that I see it, the way that I want to do it. I'm not going to do it for anybody else. I think that's good. That's what's up, man.
Gotta love it. I know.
What's up, dude?
Dang, we got some more guests coming in. Might have to put out some more mics.
I was about to say, I hope one just hopped up.
That would have been so money.
Put some bread right here.
That would have been so money. Gonna have to put out some more mics, man. We need to get everyone involved.
But yeah, man, I'm just glad you invited me because, you know, I've been trying to find opportunities to just get out there more and be productive on getting myself out there visually. And so there's, you know, it's Yakima. There's not that much opportunities here. There are if you definitely have the right connections, though. But I haven't reached that business side yet. And I'm slowly working on that. But I just want to say I appreciate you for inviting me on here.
Bro, for me it's an honor to get you on here. I've been telling you, man, like, I've been really excited for this, and the fact that we're finally here, even under circumstances, it's actually pretty awesome. And so far it's been a pretty good conversation with you too.
Yeah, chill. Nervousness is gone.
I know, right? So
in the beginning, it's always like that first maybe minute or first few seconds.
See, that's what I'm telling you. Like, it's once you get past the mic and the camera and whatnot, like, you don't worry about that. I do.
Yep.
And the fact that I was actually nervous, because I'm never nervous in these.
Yeah.
I'm always the one to be like, dude, just like, it's all good. It's all good. Like, what are you overreacting for? And now I'm like, why am I overreacting for? Like,
I feel it though, because there'll be moments where, because I've like performed at the fair, and that was scary.
Dude, I remember that last year, right?
That was last year. I was supposed to do it this year, but my leg and everything, so I didn't go. But that was terrifying. But literally, like, I've had smaller events where it's like, why am I worried about this smaller event when I was at the fair? It's like, it should be over that.
Right.
It just takes time. Sometimes, you know, it just creeps up on you out of nowhere. But yeah, I hate getting nervous because then my voice is like so cracking and stuff like that. You know?
Dude, I'm the same way. Even when you're alone, like, I don't know if you get in that headspace where you're like, all right, you're gonna make sure this is good.
Your breathing is like not breathing right. It's a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the times I'd be like, damn, that shit came out fire. Then I'll re-listen to it and
you're like, yeah.
Like, you get those nervous gasps of air. Nah, man.
So speaking of,
what's up?
What's your goal with your music? Because I know you kind of just do it for fun, or are you trying to go into that, or is it like a just for fun type of thing?
I started taking music seriously like 3 years ago. And out of it, I only came out with like 2-3 songs completed by myself and all that. I came to the point to realize my writing's on point. There's nothing wrong about my writing, and there's nothing wrong with my sense of direction and everything. I know where I want to go with my music, and I know what's going on when I'm creating it.
Yeah.
It's just the whole doing it by yourself is where I was really struggling. And so I was just like, I didn't see much development really coming to me at all. Like, even when I was working on making beats by myself, it wasn't working out, so I started buying beats. Nothing wrong with that. But then it came to like creating by myself and just finding the right structure and everything, and making sure I learned from my fuck ups, because I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of embarrassing to like hear your first song that you put your heart out in, where you put your whole heart out into it, and then all of a sudden you hear people go like, it's all right, could have been louder. Like, and I
haters. They're
Well, it's-
haters though. There's some that are just trying to help though. I'll say that.
Right, because yeah, it's more like the constructive criticism that
Mm-hmm.
I would get, and it was always the fact that it was constant, the same, like it was the same thing, which
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
was, oh, your vocals are too low, or this and that, and I was just like I'm really working on this here, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it gets frustrating. So I don't mix and master. I don't, well, I do mix them,
Mm-hmm.
but the mastering process and everything, all that is just so much for me. I get overwhelmed. But yet when it comes to like
Yeah.
video editing, easy. This is cakewalk. Like I can edit this whole video out in like less than an hour.
See, I need to get on that level. Me, it takes like 2 hours, depending on what it is.
It's weird
but-
because I grew so accustomed to video editing super easily, and even photo editing. I like to say I'm very good at photo
Yeah,
editing.
yeah.
So with all that, and it's like I don't understand because with music, completely different story.
Yeah, they have similarities, but they're definitely not the same.
Right.
But I was gonna say with that one picture, I don't remember if you were. I think you were on a couch. And I think there's 3 of you, or maybe
Yes,
2.
yeah.
But I saw that, I was like, it's freaking sick. I was like, this guy's creative, you know?
Thank
Like,
you, man. Thank you.
It's just pretty cool to see people step outside the box. And it's like some people, they'll take a picture and edit it. Nothing wrong with that. But then when you do stuff like that, that's like, all right, artist. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
where it's like photographer and then there's artist.
Right.
And so when I saw that, I saw like a little bit
I
of artist.
appreciate
in you,
that shit, bro.
So-
I appreciate you saying that. That warms my heart, honestly. That's fucking awesome.
And then with the music thing too, the beginning is rough because it's like, you're not where you want to be, but you're trying your best. And honestly, it just takes time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to have people that are helping, like constructive criticism and stuff like that. Because if you don't have people like that around you, then they're probably just not the greatest people to be having around you because they're not really telling you straight up.
Right.
And so when people like show me music, I'd be like, I like it. I see what you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
But this, work on this, or the volume, or the mix, or this could be a little bit louder. But I always make sure because I know how that feels. I always want to tell them like, I love it. I like it. It's good. Just work on this even better.
I wish
Some
I would have.
people don't have that love in there. You know what I mean?
I wish I would have like understood that part because, oh man, this is not a big deal like to anyone like that was in the room except me.
Yeah.
This was like a couple weeks back. I was at my uncle's new barbershop. He just opened one in Zilla, and he had AM in there getting his haircut by his brother David. Or
Okay.
I think I just said his name wrong, Junior. Sorry.
Junior.
But he was getting a haircut at the time. Didn't realize that was him. I came in, get a cut, and all 4 of us were there together, basically family.
Yeah.
And my uncle goes, bunch of rappers in the house, because my uncle used to rap too. He even made an
dang.
album. Yeah.
Is it like on Apple, Spotify?
I don't
CD
think so.
probably,
It's
yeah.
on CD. I
CD.
have the CD. Top Squad. That's what they call it.
Okay.
TOPP. Top Finish. Top Squad.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the music was pretty decent too. Not gonna lie.
Was it like hip hop?
Yeah, heavy
Okay.
hip hop. Like
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So
Gangster rap
do you
and
have
shit.
other people in your family that rap too or sing?
Just him. Yeah, I want
Okay.
to say it was really just him, and also Mondo and Junior did for a little bit. Apparently, I didn't know that part, but he started playing their music,
Mhm.
and then he played mine. He played my very first one of all of them. Like I
You were
thought,
like, not this
I thought
one,
my
bruh.
second, yeah, because I have 2 out. I thought my second one sounded better, like sound wise. He played the first one,
Oh man.
and I was like, "What? What are you doing?" I was like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Bro, I gotta play all our jams, man." I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "You're cool. You're chilling." And in my head, I was like, "You're chilling." And then all of a sudden, you hear the vocals go, and all you hear is the beat for the whole time. You barely hear my voice, and it's over the speaker of the shop.
So was it pretty sitting under the beat, like very
Yes,
faint?
it really was, and like it was just quiet. And then I can't remember who said it. Someone goes,
Oh no.
"No, yeah, I know."
They're like,
Then someone goes, "Well, at least the beat's fire." And I was like,
oh man. Did they know? Wait, did they? You're like, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation.
man.
Yeah. Did they know it was you that was rapping and you were in that room?
Yes. They knew.
That's burnt.
Yeah.
Like at least say it differently. It just gonna be like, oh,
They started
work
laughing.
on
I was
this,
like,
like-
ooh. I just laughed it off, like Post Malone said. But yeah, it was bad.
that's tough.
It was tough.
That's not fun. That's funny though. But yeah, no, like
It was funny, but like, I'm
I
not gonna lie, I was pretty fucking hurt.
and was that you said it was your family member? At least it was family
Yeah.
though.
It was
'Cause
family.
then it makes it more lighthearted.
It was
at
just
least.
family in there, so at
That's
least
good.
that was like worst case scenario happened, but at least it's with family, so I guess I'm chilling.
At least it wasn't like a 5-year-old getting his haircut and he's
Oh my
saying
god.
something like that. But I know what you mean, because like my first songs, I don't like them. People still like them. And I'm not talking about like Soulless. I'm talking about like my SoundCloud stuff.
I was gonna say, because I know your Spotify stuff. Like I even
took
looked down,
everything
like
I didn't like.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
There was
I was like, anyway, you started like this.
I can't remember which one it was. For example, this one ain't that bad, but I don't know if you heard it. It's like, you know what you did. What you did, I'll have to show you. But it was one of my older ones, and people loved it. And to me, looking back on it, it's like I sounded nervous. I didn't have the full perspective that I do now of making music. So it's like when I listen to it, it's just like cringe.
Yeah.
And so people are like, oh, I love it. I'm like, good for you. Like I'm cool. I don't like it that much, but thank you.
That's why, like, when it came to my music, the main thing I wanted to take pride in was my writing. And that's what everyone said the best part about my music is my writing. So I'm just glad, like, if I could get on a feature or something, I know I would kill it.
Honestly, I think writing, if you have, it's kind of 50-50. Because if you have good writing, that can definitely make the song. But then if you don't have the sound, then that can definitely break the song.
True.
But then you look at these rappers, they don't have the writing, but they have the sound, and it's still.
Right.
And so it's like, it's kind of a weird balance you have to have. But I think if you focus on the writing, naturally the sound will just come. Because if you don't have the writing and you have the sound, I'd appreciate somebody more that has the writing, personally. Because you're saying stuff. You're not just gibberish,
Of course.
Or capping. Like, oh, I got a Lambo. It's like, bro, you live in Yakima. No offense to anybody that has ever said that. I'm just saying. At the same time, it's like, I would like to see the rawness of somebody's like writing, their emotion, their thoughts, their experiences, and stuff like that. So, what inspires you to write? Is it kind of just like based off of things you go through, or is it?
It's more like it's a feeling process, I'd say. Whatever I'm feeling, that's what I put down.
There you go.
Like if I feel like all lovey-dovey, I'm gonna write something down. If I feel sad, I'm gonna write it down. Because that's how it started before the whole music thing was even a thing. It was just writing to cope. Because middle school came in that was when I first moved to Toppenish. It was 7th grade. I really started like just being depressed and all that, and I didn't know how to understand it. Didn't know what was going on with me, because my parents are like old heads. They're very old headed. Like, it's just
tough it out.
Toughing it out.
Tripping,
It's not real. Whatever. Whatever. And so I couldn't help but ignore it. I couldn't not ignore it. And so I was just like, how do I resolve this? Just pulled out a notebook and I just started writing, and 5 notebooks later, here I am, like, taking this shit serious, and since then it's honestly kind of helped save my life a good amount of times. So
it's almost like you leave it there on the paper.
So much. Yes.
It's such a strange thing, because I know what you mean. Like, when I was writing Soulless, and so with just background real quick, when I wrote that was all high school, and that was from freshman to senior. And I lost both of my grandpas in 2016. And then my stepdad, he was going through like alcohol addiction and stuff like that. And it was just a tough time. But when I wrote that down, everything I was feeling and all my thoughts and experiences, like I was saying, it just relieves what you're feeling in a way. It's like you're leaving it there. And so when I listen back to it, it's not like it got a ladybug on your shoulder. That thing flew, bro.
Oops. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. That's another reason why I like music. Like, that's not the main reason why I do it, but it's therapeutic for sure.
That's exactly what it was. It started out as a therapy for me, and that's where it transpired into something bigger, where I was like, maybe something good can come out of it, to where, I mean, that's just kind of the thing I do with just anything creative or art that I put out to the world. I don't like the idea of people feeling the way I've felt in a lot of these traumatic times in
Yep.
my life,
Mhm.
and I just want people to be able to be like, I'm not alone.
Yep.
This guy's went through the same shit I have,
Mhm.
and hopefully they can grasp the message and let them know that they're not alone.
Mhm.
There are ways to get out of it, and
Yep.
for the better. You will be
I
okay.
respect that heavily.
I appreciate
because
that shit, man.
That's how I try and do it sometimes too. It's like that's what I was talking about being raw. It's like I don't want to always be like, oh yeah, life's perfect, life's good. Like, you want to have that realness. It's like there's going
Super
to be
tough.
terrible stuff that happens in your life, but at the
Mhm.
same time, are you going to put out a message that's like, this sucks, I'm sad, and da da da, da, or are you going to explain what you're going through and give somebody like little hints of hope in there at the same time, you know? And that's where I respect that, because there's a lot of depressing songs that like just make people depressed. They don't have
Right.
they don't have any
that
it's
help
just
you
so
stay
negative.
in that state of mind.
Yeah. And so for you to do that, I respect that. And that's where it's like artists. That's another form of artistry, is being able to relate to the people
Exactly.
while helping them.
Exactly.
You know?
That's
So-
what I plan on doing with everything I do creatively. That's why, like, when I call myself an artist, I don't want to be called that for being a rapper or just
Yeah.
self-proclaimed just on one thing.
Mhm.
I don't like that idea. If you're gonna call me one thing, call me an artist, because that has
Mhm.
more variations to it.
Yep.
I'm more than that. Like I do photography. I'm a good video editor.
Mhm.
I have a fucking podcast. I make music on the side. I'm also creating short skits, short films soon, very soon. I'm really excited about
Ooh.
that. And I also have, this month I started a project that a little photography project I did by myself. It took me like 30 minutes to take photos of. It was a short photo session I did in
Mhm.
my room because I bought my own backdrop. And so
Oh,
I was like,
nice.
let's get fucking creative. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Came out with 200 photos, and it turned into 6 little projects.
Jeez.
And I posted 2 of them already last week, and now this Friday is going to be the next one of the 4 that I dropped.
There you go.
So it's like, I'm just happy, you know?
Yeah.
And all of it makes sense. Like, it all has a meaning from, like, I'm a guy for the little things. I'm a
Yep.
sucker for the little things.
details.
It's in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Every little thing from, like, the location I put on there, because it's on Instagram, and the
Mhm.
music choice, it's all revolves around the photo. Everything has a meaning behind it. Like the last one, I don't know if you've seen the last one I did last week, but it has Mac Miller's song to it.
Yeah.
And it has,
I did.
and it
Mhm.
has a quote saying something, what did I say? I can't remember, but it has a meaning to it, kind of like Kanye's album, which was I hate being bipolar, it's awesome, or something like that, you know? That's kind of the idea I got from it, which is more the like mental health focused. Because if you look at it, it's a Mac Miller inspired photo from
I'll
Circles.
have to read, because I left a like on it. I remember seeing it and hearing the Mac Miller music. I don't remember what the quote was exactly either, but I'll have to go back and reread it, because
gonna-
now that you're explaining it,
It's gonna bug me.
It'll-
I'm gonna do it real quick.
because it helps give that perspective, you know?
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that too, because it's like, now that helps me as an artist be like, yeah, the details do matter. Like
They
even-
really do. Like, that's why I appreciate like the photos that you get done. Like the recent ones you did, fire. Those
Thank
were awesome. Shouts to you guys for doing that, because I love that.
Shout
shit.
out Creos.
Shout out Creos. If you guys don't know, he's here too. He's been taking photos behind the scenes.
He's behind the scenes, yeah.
It says, "You're so imperfect. I love you." That's what
Oh,
it says.
okay.
But yeah, so that photo.
So is this 3 photos in one?
2.
2. Oh, I see it now. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
And then the
pretty
other
cool.
one is just an eye shot I did.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. So the first photo was inspired by Mac Miller's Circles album cover.
It was black and white, right?
Yes,
I think
it was black and white.
Okay, I
but
see it now.
But the cover around it, the backdrop was white.
white. Yeah.
Instead, I chose black because it just went well with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love little things like that have a concept around it and everything. Like, I have to have some. If I'm gonna put something out, it's gonna have a moral concept about it, to where that's something you got to figure out in between the lines.
I'm gonna have to pay attention more now, cause see, when you have the conversation with the artist, they give you the little Easter eggs, and so it's like, now I'm gonna have to go. I'm not gonna lie, I have to go back and stalk you, bro, and be like, I'm trying to piece this together. But-
That's what I enjoy about it. It's like a little.
Little
what are
mystery,
those
little
terms?
puzzle.
Yeah, it's a little puzzle. That's what I love about it. It's because there's more than meets the eye. That's what I love about movies, especially. I'm a huge movie head. Like, I love movies that have a story, that tell the story without saying anything. Without saying anything. You don't have to make a movie and tell the story with any dialogue.
Yep.
You don't have to.
It reminds me of those older animations, like when they didn't have any voice acting or anything, like Tom and Jerry, for example.
Right.
They're not talking.
They never do.
The whole story is there.
Except the humans. But
Except
yeah.
for the humans, yeah. But yeah, I love stuff like that because then it's really like deep in that sense of like you really have to pay attention to what they're putting in there. It's pretty dope. You're smart, bro. You're smart, man.
I'm telling
Artist,
you, man. I appreciate that shit. I'm just glad someone was here to say it. You guys caught that on film, right?
It's dead.
Damn, just died. Everything just dead. That only one.
So what is your plan with your podcast? Like, what's your vision for it?
It's honestly to help me. This is another form of therapy for me because
Makes sense.
Yeah. It feels like every time I have a conversation with someone, it's pretty intellectual. And I feel like you can get a lot out of it. And I know there's a lot of podcasters out there that are like professional that say, oh, just because you say you have conversations with your friends and you should have a podcast doesn't mean it's going to be good. I'd like to disagree because I know a lot of podcasters that are very successful that don't talk about much. That don't have that don't have an actual concept in every episode. It's just two guys bullshitting. And it works. Except this time, I not only can do the bullshitting, but also I talk about serious shit on the side as well. Like every episode, you really don't know what you're gonna get. Yeah. Hell, I have one episode that's purely on bits, which is nothing but dumb ass jokes. And then there's episodes like this where it's very intellectual and we talk about our mental health, our music, our backgrounds, shit like that. And it's just like, it's all about variation and it's about what is the main purpose behind it. And the main purpose, which is I'm going full circle into, is to help me learn how to not only talk to people, but also it's a good reminder to have these videos because when it's all said and done, where am I gonna go? You know, I'm just gonna be a memory. But so can these videos as well for everybody else. And also, I just want to leave a mark. You know, I just want to leave a mark on this world before I'm gone, because I don't know when I'm gonna be gone. We all don't know.
Nobody knows unless God tells you himself.
Right? So it's like I want to at least leave something out here, so that way people know I wasn't a piece of shit or that I was something that people thought I was. Because this world runs on assumptions.
Yep. Sadly.
Nope. It really sucks. Like,
sadly,
first impressions have never been more important nowadays. Never been more important.
And people are quick to assume, like, very fast, especially like online. Like, you don't know unless you know the person. Like, don't really go on them like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless they're doing something way out of pocket. That's obviously like something's crazy with you. You know. But at the same time, like, I'll get haters too, and like, they'll just be going off like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, like, da 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 da. There's just hating, and I'm pretty sure that comes from maybe that's their therapeutic way of letting it out.
Stems from within, something
There's
like
something
that.
else more to it, you know. But yeah, people are quick to assume nowadays, and it's pretty sad because like you don't even know me.
Exactly.
Like I don't know if you heard the little clip I added on Provision at the beginning, but when I was making that album, I got a lot of love, but not necessarily hate. I would say more so criticism. And I took the criticism.
Right.
But they wanted me to take the whole album down to where it's just completely gone. You can't listen to it. And the reason being was because I had cuss words in it. And so it's like, we're talking about the Christian side.
I do remember hearing that,
Yeah, and so it's like, I'm not going to take down this whole album. I'll take off cuss words and all that because that's how I feel about it. It's like, I got kids that are listening to it. I'm not going to try and have them listen to that while I'm talking about God. That don't make sense, you know?
Of course.
And so I just blurred the stuff out, but I also let the people know, like, this is up there because I know God was doing something in my life at this time. And for people to want to erase that whole experience that I had
entirely,
it's just like, no, because
there's more to it. It's not just music.
And just like we're talking about, the stuff that you go through can relate to somebody. And so that's where I felt convicted to take down the cuss words, but to re-upload it to where it's clean, because there's a story, there's a message there.
Not a lot of people understand, like, just one of your songs could literally save a life.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that. I feel like not a lot of people realize
even
that.
A hello, bro.
Exactly.
Even a hello. And it's crazy, like, you know how it is at Walmart, everybody's just like straight face, just shopping around. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to. There's some cool people, but it makes you wonder. It's like, where's the love, bro?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying we're all sitting here grumpy hating each other, but at the same time, it's like, we could be more friendly, bro. Like, that's probably why there's people that are depressed, because we have people walking around just like scared to talk to people. And I get that, because I get nervous talking to some people too.
Facts.
But at the same time, it's like, you never know what that person needs. A simple hello, how are you doing?
Or even just
I
a
like
compliment.
your fit.
Yeah. Just a simple compliment goes
Could make
so
their day.
long. It goes a long way.
Could make their day.
It's the little things that make a difference.
You ever hear that Eminem song?
I probably did, because I was a huge Eminem fan.
Stan?
Yes.
Something like that?
Stan.
Now, Eminem's different, because he's on a whole nother level. He's getting all these things, so he couldn't respond. But at the same time, if he got one letter from Eminem, I'm sure that would have made his day.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been good enough. And so it's just like, that's why I always make it a point to try and let people know that they are loved.
Of course.
Whether it's not verbally saying it, just by saying, hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get in my moments where I'm too tired. I'm like, I ain't going to talk to these people because I'm in a grumpy mood. I might make their day worse.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, you never know, you know? So.
That's exactly what I do, man. Or the energy just reciprocates pretty immensely. Like, that's exactly how and why I do what I do, especially with my art. And actually, Eminem was the reason I got into music in the first place.
Oh, really?
He was the very first artist where I actually listened to him from every album, front to back. I listened to him everything I learned from all of his songs, and I was a heavy stan.
Yeah.
From there, it just kind of transpired to different artists, because of course you have features. So you hear these features and you're like, damn, this guy's hard. Who is this? 50 Cent? Damn, I'm gonna listen to his shit. Get Rich or Die Trying, or Jay-Z. What? Blueprint? You start going off. And I remember middle school, I had a heavy underground rap era where I listened to Tech Nine, Hobson, Chris Calico.
I used to listen to Hobson so much, bro. Oh my gosh.
And now it's like
the Black Eminem. That's how I see it personally.
That's how I see it too, actually. Very factual. You're not wrong there. And now lately, my music taste has really gone very widespread. There's a lot in my playlist where it's you can have a hard rock in there.
Yep.
But you could also get some soft country. I'm not a big country fan, but there's some bangers out there.
I was about to say, I'm not a big country fan, but there's some maybe lock the doors and turn the lights. That's catchy. I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
And then Tennessee whiskey. There's some catchy ones. I'm I don't mind it. Now there's some where I'm I can't listen to this. You gotta turn that off.
Right.
But
you can buy me a boat.
Yeah.
You can buy me a truck to pull it.
Yeah, see, I'm good off of that one. It's catchy, but it's not a good catchy for me, you know? But I always try and have an open mind about music too, because I used to be so only rap.
Right.
Or something hip hop or R&B, that's it. But then I started branching out, and I'm there's some pretty cool stuff out here. I think it's called funk. I don't really listen to it, but I've heard some. I'm this beat's pretty sick, and it's just pretty cool to appreciate other artists' sounds and stuff. Because then you can just mix it all together. That's what art is. You're literally taking stuff that you like, just like I was saying earlier. You like this, you like this, you like this. What happens if you mix it all together?
Exactly.
New sound.
Art inspires art. That's exactly how it goes, man. That's what I love about music nowadays, is that people are branching off genres and putting them together. This might not be the best example, but Lil Nas X put in country, mixed it in with pop and shit, and made a fire ass album out of it. I don't care what anybody says. I loved his album.
I didn't listen to it. I only heard Old Town Road.
His first big. Yeah, I feel that. But and then also that's kind of how my photo shoot project started itself. I remember waking up one morning and I was just scrolling through Instagram, and all of a sudden Billie Eilish had just posted, and she did a cover shoot for a magazine, and there was one photo, I remember. I can't remember where it was to, what magazine it was to, but I just remember reposting it and saying inspired. Right after that, I put yesterday's fit on because that was my favorite fit.
Yeah.
I put the backdrop up, and then I did the
Just
photos.
to start going in.
That's exactly how it happened. I feel like that's how all my big shit happens. Like, because I did a skit, right, called Perception? Perspective?
Was it on Instagram or was it on YouTube?
I did post it on Instagram, but it's also on YouTube. It's called Perspective.
I'd have I have bad memory.
It's a little 3-minute
I'd have
skit.
to relook. Maybe I did. I feel like more than not, I think.
That happened off of a loose inspiration. Like
just something simple, huh?
Something small. I don't remember how or what it was, but I was like, I need to make a video. Got up, and it was history from there.
Sometimes just little stuff like that. Like same thing with me with music. Like I hear a song, I'm like, all right, I gotta get in the stew. Because you just hear it just does something. Sometimes it's that, and then sometimes it's.
I get a genuine adrenaline rush from it.
Oh,
like,
really?
I get it, kind of like a little mini adrenaline rush from it, where I'm like, okay, so I'll capture it right here. I'll put the camera right here, and it's just shit like that I'm really excited about. And funny thing about the skits that I have planned, because I have them all in my notes. I have literally scripts on scripts that I can show you. Each one is gonna have this story told in a different concept. One's gonna be told like through how it's shot, or dialogue heavy,
that's
or
smart.
Just the aesthetic. I love challenging myself with different areas of art and how you can perceive it.
That's genius. I've actually never thought about that, where you break it down in all of the different aspects, but really going deep, finding out the depth of each aspect.
Because like we talked about earlier, you can make a movie without any dialogue and tell the whole story through it. You can also tell a story by just how it's shot in itself.
Yeah, because when I was looking into cinematic stuff, because that's the look I like to go for. I'm not where I want to be yet with that, but like for example, like when there's a bad guy, normally the shot is below facing up because it's intimidating. Yes. Or if they look small and lonely or weak, it's up top.
It's an overshot.
And so when I was finding that stuff out, I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I never noticed that. There is so much thought put into it. Yeah. But I want to do skits too. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because stuff like that is very time consuming.
It really is, yeah.
I don't know if I do. It'd be more so skits in the way of maybe like 30 seconds or a minute,
like a TikTok.
before the music video starts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of like how they used to do it.
Yeah.
Or it was like
small,
a little
simple.
small scene will cut like midway through the song or something, you know?
Yeah, in the middle, yep.
I thought of that for that song that I was telling you about, the third one that you had.
Dude, I actually have a rough draft. I'll have to show you after, but I have a rough draft video idea for that. It's so fire, and that's the first music video I've ever thought of actually following through with.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna still follow through with it.
Hell yeah.
The music video will be late, but if I execute it the way I see it, I think it could be really powerful and really interesting.
Right.
I'll show you after. It's good.
Please do. We got a lot to share, bro.
I know. Yeah.
Creatively, like, man, I got a lot. I'm really excited because like music is not my primary focus. The writing is, but also just I don't primarily focus on anything unless it demands my focus immediately.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. And there's priorities and necessities that you got to get out the way. Yeah. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier too. It just makes me think of that when we're talking about like balancing, getting your videos and then the songs, and then you gotta spend time with the family.
Yeah.
And then you gotta rest.
Finding balance.
I think that's probably one of like the hardest things that I had to learn, and I'm still figuring it out because there's, like you said, people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, we all have lives, things that we go through, but now we have this little business we have to take care of. And so it's definitely a journey, but it's pretty cool to learn it because it helps you even grow as a person. Right. When you're learning like how to manage this and how to manage your time wisely, or should I do this? Or should I not hang out with these people right now and I should focus on this? It makes you grow.
And that used to be one of the things I was like the worst at was time management. My dad used to fucking bash me on that shit. It's like you need to prioritize your time on something. But he used to prioritize your time better. And he was right. I was horrible at managing my time. I didn't know how much time I needed to just be myself or just focus on work, focus on sports, all that. Because high school, how that is. You got to focus on homework. Then if you have sports you're involved that you're involved in, or girlfriend, whatever, friends, shit like that.
It's a busy time.
And now the real world comes in, and now we have a hobby that we want to chase, that we're chasing, like a dream that we're chasing. Not a lot of people are doing that, but we're doing it. So we add that in. A job, maybe 2 jobs. I got 2 jobs. A girlfriend. I've had 3 at one point. I'm crazy.
Respect to that.
Thank
Good
you.
Lord.
I'm actually done with that second job at the end of this week, so more time for content.
Good.
And I got some shit to tell you about next.
Okay.
But just remind me about the shit I got going on this week.
Okay.
And girlfriend, friends, all that stuff, like it's almost the same shit, except now you're really on your own. There's no teachers to tell you what to do. There's no one to tell you to work out. There's no one to tell you like to eat.
Yep.
It's only you.
That's the big thing I struggle with, is eating too. I'm like, dang, like I need to stop buying all this junk food, bro. I'm going out buying. I used to get Taco Bell. I don't think I get Taco Bell like that anymore. What I get is like, right now, Brucci's. Brucci's is pretty fire. It's like a Subway, but more so on the meat side.
Is that the one?
Right by Safeway and Union Gap?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
If you go there,
I've never been there.
Chicken Malibu. You should go here after this.
I was gonna say we was gonna go get something to eat.
I'm down.
Got some place to go to now.
That place, and then I would get Miner's milkshake. Bro, I'm not even lying. This is not an exaggeration. I would get Miner's milkshakes at least every 2 days, every 3 days.
I'm jealous.
And they were the large ones. You know how big those ones are too.
No, I know.
So.
Them things.
They're huge.
They don't fuck around with the sizes
I was
like
thinking,
McDonald's do.
Like, yeah, no. McDonald's, I feel like.
Hell, Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Fuck, don't get me started on them.
McDonald's, I can't do McDonald's because they're so. It tastes plain to me. Their Reese's ones ain't that bad. Or the Oreo McFlurry though, I'll give them that. That's pretty fire.
You usually have to order extra though.
Extra Oreos.
Yeah.
It is kind of. It's just vanilla.
Yeah.
Low key.
Exactly.
Right.
Doesn't even taste like ice cream. It's like yogurt. Or am I tripping? I might be tripping.
No, it kind of has like a different taste to it. It's very plain. That's why I just go to Miners. But yeah, back to what we were saying with nobody's telling you what to do. That's facts. Like, I remember when I was a freshman and like they were telling me that like, you're gonna graduate super fast. Like it's gonna go by like that. I was like, it's my first year out here. I'm like, no, it's not. Blinked. Now I feel like I'm in senior year. And then I'm freaking about to graduate. And then I'm like, all right, now I need to get a job, still with my parents. So that's good with that for now.
Right.
And then you really get out there and it's like, man, how do you do stuff you want to pursue at that point?
Right.
But then at that point, it's like you really have to you have to cut things out. You can't be lazy too. That's another thing I struggle with. I was like, I just want to go. I got off work. I want to go to sleep. I want to chill. But it's like, no, I got to treat this as a job. And I love doing it. So it helps, you know. It doesn't feel like we're going, no offense, Walmart people, but it doesn't feel like doesn't feel like we're working. It's something
if you love
that
what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep.
That's what my dad taught me.
That's good. He sounds very smart. Very, very, very smart.
He is a pretty smart guy.
Very, very, I don't know what word I'm looking for. But like, you know, some people don't have good dads. And so it's good to appreciate that. Because my dad, we had I'm not gonna go too deep, but we had a little like headbutting moment in high school. But he was just trying to help me out of love. And I didn't fully see it at the time, you know. I think we both could have worked on some stuff the way we approached it. But like, I think it's because we're so similar.
Sometimes it's just how it is.
Yeah, I think it's because we're so similar.
Kind of like how opposites attract sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think that was the main reason. But we're good now. Like, I love him. Like, he's great.
Good.
Back then, I didn't fully understand how he was trying to help me. Because he's very... I was a mama's boy. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was a mama's boy.
I still am. Shit.
I still am too. Eh?
Guilty.
And it's like, I didn't know how to take that hard love. You know what I mean? And so now that I'm getting older, it's like, all right, I get it. Like now that I'm going through stuff, you told me this way ahead of time, and now I had to learn the hard way. And so,
Right.
But yeah. Random, but had to throw it in there.
That's good though. Like, maybe somebody needed to hear that. like these little side notes, you never know who needs to hear it. That's true. That's what I like to hear. Is like, I've been told a couple of times, like I've stopped by random people that I've never even met. Sometimes during like football games or whatever, and they'll be like, "Hey, watch your podcast."
Nice.
I love watching it. Dude, that warms my heart. Every time someone goes up to me, I'm like, damn, like, you know, I don't even know you, like, and you're saying I'm helping you out and shit, like, that means the world.
Makes you encourages
it tells
you
me
too,
I'm doing my job right as a human, as what I'm doing as a human, you know. And
that's good.
Sometimes they're like, hey, that one thing where you talked about this and this, like, I needed to hear that. So, I'm glad I was there to help you, you know. But
I think that's probably the best thing when it comes to creating art for me, is like helping people. Because it's like, if I honestly, I appreciate when people are like, oh, this is fire. But like when I get those messages, that's like, dude, I'm so glad you're writing about this or talking about this, because that's what I was going through, and it just helped me get out of that spot. Like, I love hearing that versus, oh, that's fire. And nothing, like I said, nothing's wrong with that. But at the
it's
same
still
time,
a great compliment, you know?
Yeah.
You love
like,
to hear
I appreciate that just as much. But it's like, the reason I do it is to help people and to let them know that they're loved, not just by me, not by them, but other people around them, or, you know, not that they're simply just not alone, but like, there is a God that loves you. There is a God that cares about you. And that's where I was reaching out to you the other time.
Right.
That little group, I don't know what's going on with it yet, but I just always want people to know, like you were saying earlier, like, I don't know what's after this. Like, I might just be a memory. But it's like, bro, like, there's a creator, you know? There's evidence all around us. There's trees, and these trees are intricately designed. You know, you don't have a building without a builder. And so some people are very closed-minded when they hear Jesus. It's like, oh, yeah, I know he died for our sins. But like, do you understand that there's no greater love story than that? God coming down as a person, even though we were stabbing him in the back, even though we were slapping him in the face, even though we did this over and over and over again, he still chose to experience what we experienced, the sadness, the pain, the heartbreak. They mocked him, they spat on him, and he still chose to love us. He still today is still reaching out to us. And so it's like, that's where my drive comes from, my motivation, my intentions, is because he first loved me. And now that I understand that type of love, which is unconditional no matter what we do, he's still going to love us. He's still going to be right there trying to lead us in the right way.
Right.
And that's what I want people to know. It's like, you're going to go through stuff. But why go through it alone?
Exactly.
You know? And so I was just trying to tell people, like, you know, if you give your life to Christ, I guarantee you will have peace, you will have hope, you will have joy. You're going to have struggles, you're still going to have hard times, but you're going to have peace in those moments because you know the truth, you know where you're going after you're saved and stuff like that. And so I just want to encourage you with that. Like, it may seem like, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know what the full-on purpose is, but I'm telling you, because I love you and I care for you, it is him, and he is the only way. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now that the Bible talks about, and it's getting crazier and crazier. Like you're saying, people are assuming nowadays, like, there's so much hatred and so much assumption, so much
negativity's never been louder.
Yeah, and you can see that even in your perspective, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. I just want to, like, tell you, brother, man to man, I love you, I care about you, and I think God has an amazing purpose for you, and the way that you think, the vision that you have, I think that he's going to bless it if you just give it to him. I'm telling you, bro, like, I know he has this type of stuff in his plan for you. I promise you. His plans are better than ours. I know it's like, yo, this dude busted this out of nowhere.
I know, it's shit.
But it's true, bro. Like, you have a heart to help people. He has a heart to help you. And so we just have to line up with him and let go of certain things. And that's the hardest part. That's the thing that I didn't even want to hear myself. Like, I was smoking 24/7. I was drinking, and I was making music for people. And I was doing my own thing. It was very selfish. That's why I said, what's that one in Someone Like Me? I was living for myself. Selfish. Acting like I didn't need help. I was helpless.
Yeah.
it's that essence of we all need help because we're so flawed. You ever try and do things your way, like, oh, I know what's better, I know what's best, and then it flops. You're like, dang. Like, no matter what, we're always going to make mistakes, but he never does. You know what I mean? And so I just want to encourage you with that.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
No problem, brother.
Before we end off, there was something I was going to tell you. Oh, what I'm doing the rest of the week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this week, this started off a very busy week for me.
Uh-huh.
So like I told you earlier, I got a Q&A to do later.
Mm-hmm.
I got maybe some time with friends, and I bought the collector's edition of Spider-Man 2.
Ooh, wait. Are you talking about the
18-inch statue?
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
It's coming in either tomorrow or Friday.
Oh,
Don't
that's
know
fire.
when. And so got to do an unboxing video of that, gameplay on that, and I still got to edit and put out these videos. So
It drops tomorrow, right? At 9 or
Tomorrow,
something?
yeah.
Ooh, I'm hyped, bro.
I'm ready,
I
bro.
pre-ordered it too. I didn't get the collector's edition, but
I don't know why I did it. It was
that's pretty dope though. How big is it? So like a little bit bigger than a foot, huh?
Don't ask me about measurements, bro.
But
I just
yeah,
love the meme.
I pre-ordered it too, and I was like, I just pulled the trigger because like, bro, it's only $10 more.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, unless you get the other version.
We
But
don't want to talk about that.
yeah. But it's only $10 more. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna get extra suits. I honestly don't like most of the suits. I like 2 of them though.
The
I like,
newer, you're talking about the newer ones that got released. That they shown.
I think
me
I think
too.
there's 10.
I didn't
wasn't
agree
really
on.
a fan of it.
Yeah.
I think it
They
was
look very like AI generated.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. I was like,
Except the ones that were based on the comics, like the Arachnite, the mix of Moon Knight and Spider-Man. I love that one.
oh, with the hood and the cape.
Mhm.
That one looks pretty sick.
Fire. So
I haven't
fire.
seen the comic, like the actual comic of that.
I have the Funko of that one too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Where'd you get that
I'm a
at?
pretty big collector. Sometimes I order them online. I think that one I got online.
Okay.
But I even have I almost have the entire No Way Home set.
Oh, nice.
There was like a movie, whole set that they have. I'm just missing
The
one,
different
which was
suits and stuff like that.
with, no. You're thinking of like just the models themselves. Like
Yeah.
it's an actual set that you can put together.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole fight scene of all 3
Oh, that's pretty
Spider-Men
sick.
fighting the Sinister 5, I guess. But I'm
That's
just missing
pretty
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
That's dope.
It's pissing me off.
You're
I've
like,
had it
"That's
for
the
like
last
months.
missing piece,
It's
bro."
the last one I've been missing for months. But with that, as much as I want to keep this thing going, and we could literally keep going, I gotta call it an episode. But I'm not gonna act like I didn't have a fucking great ass time.
I appreciate it. It was
I
good.
appreciate the hell out of you for coming out and making the time for me.
Yeah, man.
And this episode, it's been great. I really hope we could get on again.
Yeah,
'cause
dude, that'd be down.
I feel like there's so much untouched shit that we can get into. Maybe.
I'm down.
Guess we'll find out.
I'm definitely down, bro.
I appreciate Krios for being behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
And taking all the behind the scenes photos and everything. Appreciate you. And I appreciate you guys for watching. So, with this coming to a conclusion, leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment how you felt about everything we talked about. We talked about a lot. I hope you guys really
Yes.
enjoyed this. This is one of my best episodes by far. I gotta say it. And please share it. We're almost at 200 subs.
Smack the like button, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
So aggressive.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was great. It's not like we're in a public park or anything, you know?
But I appreciate you for having me, man. It was a pleasure. It was an honor for me too, bro. Like, see, we can go all day.
We can keep going.
I ain't gonna go into it.
Until then, love you guys. Till
Yeah.
the next one. Peace.
Peace.